Hi, I'm Samantha McDouglas from thebridgeteachers.com. Come look over my shoulder at a play problem. This auction, but not the hand, may look familiar to you. Last week, we covered the bidding. We did this from North's perspective. We have now switched, so we are looking at the other hand so that we can declare the hand. I'll give you a quick review of the auction, but if you want to look at it in more detail, check out last week's video. We were the dealer. We opened one spade, showing 5 or more spades and an opening hand or better. West bid 2 spades. This is a Michael's Q bid, showing 5 or more hearts and 5 or more cards in an undisclosed minor. Different partnerships play different strength, and you should inquire with your opponents as to what that strength might be. Our partner bid 3 hearts, which was a Q bid, showing 10 or more points and support for our spade suit. When our right-hand opponent passed, we bid 4 no trump, asking partner for aces. Our partner told us that they had 2, and we now bid 6 spades. West was on lead and led the 3 of clubs. The first thing that we want to do on any hand that we are declaring is assess the hand. In a suit contract, we assess the hand by counting losers. And the very first thing we want to do when we are counting losers is pick a hand. Which hand are we going to pick? The south hand. Why? Because it is the long trump hand. We always choose to count losers from the long trump hand. So let's take a moment and count losers from the south hand. How many losers do we have? We have 3. That's a little bit scary in 6, but we're probably going to be okay. What is our plan for this hand? We are going to draw trump and use the diamond suit to discard our losers. How many losers can we discard on the diamonds? 3. The suit will be all good. We can play the queen on the 4, and then the rest of the diamonds will be good. We have 3 more diamonds in the north hand than we do in the south hand, and all 3 of those diamonds will be good, giving us 3 discards. We have 3 losers. We can get rid of 3 losers on our diamonds. This hand looks fantastic. So when you have that moment of, hey, I'm making this hand, it looks great, I want you to stop and think about what could go wrong. So when we think about what could go wrong, what suit draws our eye? The spade suit. We know this is a distributional hand. West has told us that they have 2 5-card suits or longer. So it's not unreasonable to imagine that the spade suit might be breaking badly and we might actually have a spade loser. Our focus on this hand is going to be entirely the spade suit as we plan how to avoid that loser. So the first thing we are going to do is win this trick. And now, of course, we're going to play spades. One of the first things I want you to think about is what distributions of the spade suit are going to give you trouble. So there are 3 possible distributions. What are they? The opponents have 5 spades. They could be 3 in one hand and 2 in the other. They could be 4 in one hand and 1 in the other. And they could be all 5 in one hand. Which of those 3 breaks is going to be problematic for us? If the suit splits 4 and 1 or 5 and 0, we are potentially going to have a spade loser. If the suit splits 3-2, you can play the ace, king, queen in any order. All of the spades will fall. You will now be able to play your diamonds and take the rest of the tricks. Only if it is a 4-1 break or a 5-0 break are we going to have a problem in spades. On what trick, the first spade trick, the second spade trick, the third spade trick, are we going to know whether the suit is splitting well or splitting badly? We will know for certain on the second trick. Now, if it is a 5-0 break, you will know on the first trick. But on the second trick, if everybody plays a spade, it's split 3 and 2. All your spades are good. You can get rid of your losers on your diamonds and make 7. Can we do anything about it if West has the 4 or 5 spades? Not really. We have the 10 and we have the 8, but the opponents have the Jack and the 9. So with the Jack and the 9, we can't really finesse West if they have the 4, because if we lead the 10, they'll play the Jack, promoting their 9. If we play a lower card, they can play the 9 and force our ace, promoting their Jack. Can we finesse East? Yes, absolutely. Because we have the 10 behind East, we can lead a spade from dummy, and if East plays the Jack, we can play the King or the Queen, making the 10 good. And if East plays low, we can play the 10, making the 10 good. So if you put all of this together, I can only finesse East. It's only a problem if it's a 5-0 break or a 4-1 break. I'm going to know for sure what's going on the second trick. This tells you how to play the spade suit. And it's not as simple as high cards from the short side first. In fact, if you just play high cards from the short side first on this hand, you will go down. I'll show you why in a second. But let's put all of these pieces together. So we're going to know on the second trick what the distribution of the suit is. So we can play 2 of our 3 high cards, the ace, the king, and the queen, and find out what that distribution is before we take any risks. Now, which 2 of these 3 cards do we want to play, and which do we want to keep? We for sure want to play the ace, and then we want to play the king or the queen. And the important bit here is that you keep either the king or the queen to protect the 10 sitting behind East. So what you don't want to do is play the king and the queen. If you start by playing the king and the queen, you won't be able to finesse for a couple of reasons. One, because we won't have any little cards left to lead from north. But 2, also because we need a card higher than the jack in the hand that is behind the jack. Now that we know we're going to play the ace and either the king or the queen, what order are we going to do that in? Going to play the king or the queen first and the ace second. Why? Because we're going to know what's going on the second trick. And which hand do we want to be in on that second trick? Dummy. And it's really important. It's really important to be in dummy on the second spade trick and not the first spade trick. And I'm actually going to show you all 4 hands and we'll play the spade suit. If you play spades, high cards from the short side first, watch what happens. We play the ace, high cards from the short side first. Then we play another spade, and we play our king and our queen. And now we find out what the split is. This is fantastic. We have a finesse position on East. If they play the 9, we can play the 10. If they play the jack, we can play the queen. Fantastic. What's the problem here? We're in the wrong hand. And not only are we in the wrong hand, but we can't actually get to the correct hand. If you try to get to dummy with a diamond, unfortunately, you're going to get trumped. And now the defense is going to take their 2 club tricks. And you are going to go down. If we go back. But Sam, I can get to dummy by trumping a heart. You can. Absolutely. We can get away with trumping a heart. No problem. But what is the problem when we trump the heart? We can't finesse in spades because we don't have any spades in dummy. Let's go back and play the spade suit properly. High cards from the short side first is a great saying, and it is a technique that we utilize a lot. But don't just blindly use any technique. Everything needs to be mindful and you have to think it through. In this case, we don't want to play spades, high cards from the short side first, because we're going to know what's going on in spades on the second trick, and it is vital that we are in dummy on that trick, because otherwise we can't get there. So when we play the king first and the ace second, doesn't matter whether it's the king or the queen, by the way, now we know what's going on in spades and we're in the right hand. So now we can finesse. And when we lead the 6, it doesn't matter what East plays. This is a marked finesse. We know this is working because West has shown out. So if East plays the 9, we will simply play the 10. Then we will cash the queen. And play our diamonds and make the hand. If instead of playing the 9, East plays the jack, doesn't matter to us. We play the queen. We now use the 10 to pull the 9. We cash our good diamonds. Being very careful here to overtake, because otherwise we can't get to dummy. All of our diamonds are good, and now we get our 3 discards. We get to get rid of our club and our other club. And our heart loser. And now our hand is entirely good. And not only did we make our contract, we made an over trick. Let's go back. This card combination, our spade suit, is a pretty common card combination. It is a really helpful one to know. And it's not just playing the ace and the king, finding out what's going on and then taking the marked finesse. It's also making sure we do that in the right order. Playing the king or the queen and then the ace so that we're in the correct hand to take the finesse if we need to. Thank you. We are over halfway through the year and I have so many great hands in store. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any.